Welcome, everyone, to Flashpoint Friday. This is Flashpoint Live, manifesting the moment of your big breakthrough. We have an exciting way to kick off the show today. Say hello to Mandy, our beautiful spokesperson. Hello, Mandy.
Good afternoon, Austin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. How are we?
Well, I'm glad you're here,
Thank you.
Mandy, and I'm glad you're here, the listener, whether you're live and on the playback. We want to welcome you into this space. But this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mandy and let Mandy kick off our show. We have a little ritual we do to kick off the show every week. So, Mandy, are you ready?
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, like you, welcome every single person to the show today. As Austin said, this is the moment of your big breakthrough, and this is what we bring to the table on the noon hour for this TV show. So, first of all, what we like to start with is to check in with yourself. How are you feeling today? How are you doing? How's life treating you? Have you got a smile on your face? You sure better have a smile on your face right now as we go into the little ritual that we go through. We start off with the hourglass. Austin, do you have the hourglass there?
I
so
do.
What the hourglass represents?
There it is.
Represent. As we know, the sand falls through the hourglass from the top to the bottom. The top represents everything that's past. All our life, right up to this current second, is in the past. The bottom represents everything that's coming in the future. Are we in the past right now? No, we're not. Are we in the future right now? No, we're not. We're in the middle of the hourglass. If Austin, you could just lower that a little. We're in the middle of the hourglass, which is considered to be the present moment, because all we ever have at any given moment in time is the present moment. So are we going to be focused here in the present moment to get the best out of this show today? So that's the hourglass. And then we next go to the Edison light bulb. And this is, that's a replica of the actual light bulb that Edison created. And he was said to have failed 10,000 times, but he didn't actually fail. He failed forward to succeed. 10,000 ways to success. So in this program today, as we do each week, we're looking for moments that stand out, that make us feel empowered, and that light bulb moment, wow, I really like that impacts me, that empowers me. And finally, moments that actually really, really like, wow, yeah, that's good. Where's the old cowbell? Bring out the cowbell. Woo! So type in the chat anytime we have one of those cowbell moments, type it in and let's bring it to the fore and share. Welcome, Raul. Happy Friday.
Welcome, Raul.
Woo-hoo!
Raul's going to be joining us, a week from today. We're going to be literally at Flashpoint Live.
Oh, so exciting. Yes, running up those steps, rocky steps. Very
Mandy,
exciting.
thank you so much for helping us kick the show off today, and setting the stage. And it's always good to remind ourselves of the little things. I always say, go back to the basics. I tell myself, go back again. Like, don't think you know it, because I can go back and look at it again and I get a new distinction. Something hits me different and it changes something up. And that's what
perspectives, right? And everybody comes from a different perspective. They change all the time. You're right.
Yes, absolutely. So we're gearing up for next weekend, but we want to bring on some of the speakers that are going to be joining us next week. We have an incredible weekend planned. I have a video I'm going to share. This was a video I did at the Rocky Steps. As you know, I've been doing a video there every morning to really just bring the light to the underdog and overcoming everybody. And so many people I talked to. I've had some appointments this week of people that didn't know about the event, and they're all talking about Rocky and how the story impacted them. It's universal. And so it's really exciting to be here for that and have everybody join us on the steps. It's just going to be
iconic.
And we're filming it. We're going to have a documentary. We got so many exciting things planned for you. And
powerful.
Yeah. So why don't we do this? It's 6 minutes after the hour. And we do have Julie is in the green room. And I'd like for Julie to join us because we're going to be learning And Jose, hopefully you're going to join us. Jose, I sent you the link. So, Jose is one of the other speakers. But Mandy, what would you say about Julie? Because I want to get your perspective, because I've worked with Julie, and she's got an amazing message. She's got a book coming out. What's your perspective in your field before we bring Julie on?
Well, before we bring her on, first of all, I want to thank her for the honor of having me do a testimonial on her upcoming new book.
Oh, beautiful.
So honored. Julia and I really connect on the same level, because I too come from a heart-centered place of service. But Julia, talking from a professional standpoint, brings so much wisdom, training, experience to the table based around the subject of love and amplifying love in the universe. And I love the main point that she tends to bring everything back to this main point. This is what I've found in all her videos, her podcasts that I've got engaged with, is that we're all human, right? We all have the ups and downs of life, and it's a roller coaster. And sometimes we can step out of being aligned with source energy, our highest purpose. And if we become aware that we've stepped out of alignment, then we can change the mindset and come back or return to alignment, to peace. And Julia really, really hones in on that and makes that point really stand out. You always have a choice to step back. Yes, I'm out of alignment. I'm not feeling good, whatever it is. Got a little bit angry with somebody, whatever it is. But now I'm going to change my mindset and I'm going to bring it back to peace. And with all her training with Jack Canfield and various other people, over 20 years of amplifying love and peace.
Yeah.
She is an incredible powerhouse,
Yes,
source of beauty, love, and peace. And she brings that to everybody. And I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah. So let's bring Julie on right now.
Wow, Mandy. Oh my goodness.
Julia.
Thank you.
Truth only.
Welcome, Julie. And you deserve every bit of it. 20 years you've been working on this, and through your own personal story, and looking for the right perspective, the right insight, heart-centric. You talk a lot about coherence. And I said I believe I said this the other day, it's nothing so powerful as an idea whose time has come, right? Victor Hugo. And that's when I look at your work and we look at the state of the world, we look at people that are looking for answers. You have an incredible body of work that you're bringing to the world. So I want you to like and share this, because I know this is going to move you. So Julie, just share a little bit about your brand, Peace and Love Amplifiers. Let the audience get to know you. I would love for them to hear from you instead of, from your mouth, what you're feeling and thinking right now.
Well, I thank you both for having me here and for just creating this space for all of us to share and learn from each other, because it is a community. We really bounce ideas off of each other and learn from each other. And I was very much a child of anger and anxiety from a very young age. And so I've learned from that early age that, I really need to find tools for myself to help me with my own situation, because it was more of an anger or disappointment to what the state of the world, right? So being in a family who we were, my grandmothers, my mother, my aunts, we were all very responsive to what's going on in the world, and politically minded, and writing letters to our congressperson, all that stuff. So I had this empowerment from an early age that, if we want to make a change, then we need to be that change maker, right? So how can I amplify peace, amplify love, if I'm angry, if I'm frustrated, if I'm so I went to school, went to college like my dad wanted me to, and have my business degree, went into the corporate world, and just really, really did not like it at all. And I was in my late 20s and going through some life changes personally. And I said, you know what? If everything else is kind of crumbling around me, let me just change everything. So I went to massage school and really learned then that we need to be responsible not only for our physical wellness, but for our mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness as well. So that's where I really started to learn about emotional well-being, mental well-being. I became uh, a an ordained minister to help with spiritual peacemaking. So I really wanted to help people on many levels of just being able to find what's going on in my life that is pulling me out of my peace, and then how can I get myself back into that centered space, like Mandy was so eloquently saying, so much better than I do. So I really I've developed like this core of techniques that I use every day, literally use every day. And I don't have to use them as much because I have a good foundation of things
Mhm.
that weren't that I didn't have before, right? So I have this better mindset, this ability to go back into my peace a lot faster when I
Yes.
pulled out of it,
Yeah.
And so my inner critic turned into my inner coach. And that was the mindset that really helped me to kind of get to this point.
Yeah. I want to share this. This is really interesting because what was coming through for the first time in working with you were angry at the state of the world. And you're feeling this emotion of being angry. And how many times in our lives are we angry about something that's going on? It could be in our family unit, it could be in our community, it could be collectively with the world. And what is amazing about you, you went through this transformation of, well, wait, I could be angry, or I could understand that in order to be a change agent, I myself need to embody peace and love in here before I can ever make a difference out there. And you started to do that. And that's your journey of transformation and being able to bring your work to the world. And that's what I'm really thinking and feeling right now about your journey, Julie.
It's also it's living what what's that phrase? Walk the talk or talk the walk, whichever way around it is. I never get that right. But you
Yes.
live by what you teach and what you believe that resonates from the inside out. That is a very important key, because if you can't first love yourself and have the inner peace mentally, emotionally, and physically, you can't radiate that out. And you've done all this work on yourself to do that and become this such an amazing, beautiful change maker in that regard.
Okay. So
Yeah.
another surprise. Oh, go ahead, Julie.
Cool. No, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to bring Jose on because he's been listening in and I want to hear what he has to say about what he just heard. Jose, you ready? Jose, can you hear me? I can't hear you. So you got to give me thumbs up. There we go. Jose, welcome to
Jose!
Good morning.
Hey,
Good
Jose.
morning. How's
Got the
everyone?
10X hat on.
You already know this is the way I operate.
That's right. Absolutely. So we're going to get to know you here in a moment, but you were in the green room, you heard a little bit of the start of this. And before I turn it over to you, I coined this, what happens when you get a farm boy to multimillionaire, a peace builder, and what I called you a martial arts aficionado, entrepreneurial martial arts aficionado, although you're so much more than that. So that's what's happening here. Hopefully we'll have Marlon joining us here momentarily. I think he's coming soon. So, stay tuned for that. We're going to have all of them together here. But Jose, what do you think about what you heard so far on today's show?
Well, to be completely frank, I was kind of in and out of a couple of things in preparation for showing up here, so I didn't completely catch everything. But so far, I heard some good things, some little snippets here and there, and being in the same room with Austin, Mandy, and Julia, is already saying something, because that tells me that I'm doing something, because I wasn't in these rooms before with you guys. So I'm just honored to be here. And of course, honored to be a speaker and be present at your event. It's going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely honored to have you on board as well. You're going to bring so much to the table.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So Jose, let's learn a little bit about you. I'll just say, I love what you're doing with the Connected Leaders Academy. You're bringing some of the most, incredible people in the world at this point. You're all over the place with people that are jumping into the community and people that want to make a change. They're doing things in the world. You're bringing in these leaders and they're putting them all together. And it's just amazing. I think you're at like 110 people right now and you're going strong. But I love that. But I also love the fact that you're a dad, you're a husband, you got 4 children, 1 on the way. You're passionate about growth. You're passionate about what you're doing. And it's just great to have you as a speaker. You've mastered the morning and evening routine. You're going to be talking about that, but let's let the audience just share whatever, about you today. I want to hear from you. Let's hear your message today.
Yeah, so my message today is something that I've been reading recently, because every single day I'm all about lifelong learning. I'm all about making sure that I am constantly drowning in intellectual stimulation, right? It is so important for us to constantly make the efforts to move the needle personally and professionally, because a lot of us tend to disregard certain areas of our life, myself included, because we're so busy.
Yes.
And we have priorities, and we forget that, hey, I also need to be financially sound. You know what? I also need to be a good father. I also need to be a good husband. My spiritual life matters. I got to be healthy. What's the point of having, a lot of income and being able to give back to the world if you are on your deathbed with disease and different things going on because you don't take care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many moving parts. And I guess today's message came from a quote that I'm reading right now, actually, which probably speaks to someone you're going to bring on shortly. And it's the psychology of money, right? And in this book, there's a powerful quote. And the quote says here, and I'm going to read it directly from the text. It says, "History never repeats itself. Man always does." And because we've heard it many times where they say history repeats itself, but the reality is it gets deeper than that. There's a deeper layer to that, right? That's the branches of the tree. We're talking about the roots. The roots of the tree is the person, human beings, man and woman, right? We repeat our behaviors over and over and over, and that is called habits, right? Once you repeat a behavior consistently enough, it becomes a habit, both good and bad. A lot of us have some really good habits. We have great habits, but the truth is we're all working on something, and we have a lot more habits that are not necessarily healthy, and they keep us stuck. They keep us stagnant. They keep us in this revolving wheel, like a hamster in a wheel, right? Working real hard and trying to get ahead, but we can't because we self-sabotage with some of the behaviors that we have. So that is my message today is, when was the last time you have evaluated in reflection the types of behaviors that you're actually taking action on a daily basis? I think that requires a daily look, your evening routine. And that's something I'm going to be speaking about on the 25th as well.
I can completely concur with that, because as the body needs food and liquid and good things to sustain itself and make the organs, the cells, the blood, everything work coherently, we also need to evaluate our habits, because our habits become the way we live. And if we don't evaluate them and change them to complement the growth within the body, the mind, the spirit, physically, emotionally, and mentally, then we're just going to stagnate. Totally agree with that.
Yes, and this is all kind of comes together, because I love Julia's work is all about self-reflection, slow down, pause, be aware. And that is fertile ground for assessment. Most people are operating from sympathetic mode. The nervous system is let's go. I can't tell you how many times I have a conversation and where I have to. You constantly tell yourself, I have to over and over again. You're in sympathetic mode. You're not pausing. You're not assessing. and the brain just wants to get right on the track because the pathways in the brain will just run. And in order to create new connections, it's pause, slow down, awkward, uncomfortable. And most of us don't want to do that. And it's difficult to do, but it's where all the keys lie. So both of these, you can see how both of your work here comes together. And hold up that book again. So you got
money.
the book, The Psychology of Money, right? So this is a perfect segue into Marlon Mueller. And he's got an itch. Okay, Marlon, you ready to come on? Thumbs up.
Yay.
So Marlon's going to join us. Look at this. He's got a hoodie.
The Rocky theme just went off in my head.
The Rocky theme. Yeah, I got to get the music going. I have to get the music going today. Marlon, welcome to the program. I'm not sure. Did you hear any of the beginning? I know you had a couple things going on.
Yeah, I'm actually on another training. So
okay.
I got 2 computers going right now.
Okay, but we're glad you're here. It's interesting that Jose held up the book, The Psychology of Money, because we want to hear, so why don't you talk about, you've been at this for 35 years studying wealth principles, and it's interesting that he's holding up that book, The Psychology of Money. So
yeah, actually the training I'm in, we're talking about, developing our story and finding our turning point, which is funny because that's what you're about too. And, there's so many times in my life where I had that financial dip, if you want to call it that, from, the bankers telling us, hey, we can't loan you any more money, to, scrambling to try to keep the operation going, to, having a lot of money and then losing it all through poor decisions with, startup companies. And it's just like, it just goes on and on and on of life lessons about money. And so it's like, where do you start, and where do you, to just go, this was my final decision that I'm never going to do that again, kind of thing. But I think I've told people I'll probably still make mistakes even in the future, because there's still things I don't know. And so but what's also helped me is being around people that I can go to that are at a higher level than myself, and learn from them, and ask questions like, well, is this a good decision? So
yeah, and I know, some of the circles you hang out with, I think there's a group, you got a couple billionaires in it, right?
Yeah, there's one of the mastermind groups, there's a lot of mostly millionaires and some billionaires in there. And, they obviously, think differently, had different experiences.
But that's a good room to be in. Would you agree? I mean, if you want to learn wealth, see, I think people think it's all about the money, right? But it's the book, The Psychology of Money. And I've heard you, Marlon, talk about the psychology of it. And like which I'm going to highlight at the event, the Tony Robbins quote, 80% of it is psychology, 20% of it's strategy. But the world, we live in a how-to world, don't we? Give me the list, Marlon. Give me the 7 keys that make me a millionaire. But it's more about this, right?
Yeah, it's really about your mindset, and it's really not about the money. I mean,
there you go.
All you have to do is take a look at people that win lotteries and win a whole bunch of money. I mean, they have money, but they don't have money, because pretty soon they go to the level that they are in their mindset. So like Robert Kiyosaki always said it, if you don't have it up here in your brain, you'll never have it in your pocketbook. And I think that's a lot of truth. I remember one time he said, there's a person going to have $100,000 and go broke, or another person going to have $100,000 and become a multimillionaire.
So I got a great metaphor. Jose, how much can you bench press?
About 225, maybe.
I knew you were going to say 225. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know why I knew that, which was my max. Actually, anyway. So imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger comes in, and he's lifting 350, 400, and he's benching it. And he says, "Hey, Jose, I want you to get down. I'm gonna put this weight, right?" So he hands you the weight, you might be able to hold it up, but you probably wouldn't, right? Because eventually the weight is going to be so heavy. And I think what Marlon's talking, and I'm using this metaphor as a way for when somebody's handed $1 million, if they haven't developed the muscle to know how to handle it, it comes crashing down. And that's a gross example, but I think it speaks volumes to what you're talking about, Marlon, is that we must develop the mindset. And I think, and the heart set. It's not just, to me, it's about heart set. Because if you're a jerk and you develop the mindset to become millionaire, now you're a million dollar jerk, right? Money makes you more of what you are. I mean, we've heard that quote many times.
Well, personally, I think all three of us, Jose and Julia and I would agree in that mindset for what we do. It all starts there.
There's 100% like the difference between being broke and being poor, right? Because broke is a temporary state financially. Poor is a mindset. So like, there's a big gap in between poor and broke.
Yes.
And even some of the wealthiest people, go bankrupt and have these financial broke moments that they have to restructure, but they can all get it back and 10x it because of their mindset, right? Their ability to say, I need more. I have a certain behavior pattern of how I use money and how I show up with money and how to acquire money. And like you said, 80-20, 80% mindset, 20% strategy. I love it.
Yeah. And I think, like we're saying here, like if you dropped Marlon off, if you lost everything tomorrow and we dropped you off somewhere because of what you've done, you'd be able to, it may take you some time, but I would venture to say it would take you a lot longer than the 35 years that you spent. And I know you've been learning for 35 years, but so when you achieved millionaire status was probably a lot longer prior. But if we dropped you off, you'd be able to develop it, right? You'd be able to do it at a certain level.
Right.
Drop Julie off somewhere, if it was a chaotic situation, because she would know how to create peace in the situation. Jose, if we dropped you off, man, you'd be like martial arts, entrepreneur, all the stuff that you do, but you'd be able to, if everything was taken away, is my point, you'd be able to build it up rather quickly. And I think it's because of the skill set. And that's what you all bring to the table. So I'm excited to have you speak at the event. And it's going to be interesting because it's such a contrast of people. I love diversity because I love getting different perspectives like we're doing here today.
Can I just jump in there, Austin?
Please.
Because with all three of you, actually all four of you, probably all five of us, let's just say all five of us, the points that have reverberated, everything I've watched with Julia, with Jose, with Marlon, with Austin, this has always stood out in my mind. And you've all spoken about it many, many times. You've all brought it to the table and you consistently bring it to the table. Yes, it's about mindset, no doubt whatsoever. If you haven't got it up here, you will change nothing in your life. But how do you get it up here? How do you acquire the mindset? Look behind Jose. He's got a library full of books. If you come into my sitting room, it's pretty much the same. I've always got my head in books. Marlon really keyed in on it by saying that we have to find people that have already got a template to their success that they can teach you. So mentors, coaches, people on the higher levels that have already created that success that we can learn from. We can ask questions, because if we can have all the learning in the world, but if we don't know how to use it, what we've acquired, then it's a waste of time. So the mindset is all involved in acquiring the knowledge, acquiring the mentorship, and putting it all into action. And you all encompass all of that.
Julie, what do you think? So what you've heard so far?
It's funny because I always had a bad relationship with money. Growing up, my mom, she would joke she had champagne taste, but I had a beer pocketbook. So it was this undoing of, knowing that as an entrepreneur, that to have a bad relationship with money isn't going to work, right? So it was kind of going deep into where that was coming from, kind of like what Mandy said, like, where is this coming from? how can I pull it out, and because it's not serving me anymore, this negative relationship with money. And so changing that and moving from this new space of I can be I can let the money flow through me, you know, and share it with the world. So it changed my whole mindset of that money is not bad, money's not evil, money, I shouldn't have money, but now it's like it's just a flow. Let me get in the flow of it, you know. So doing a lot of abundance work, just really changing the mindset of that. So yeah, I can't wait to hear what Marlon says about all this.
The Wealth Wise. It's good. Marlon, I already know people are going to be lining up to talk to you. You're a wealth of knowledge. I mean, really. And I love the fact how humble you are. Like, you're constantly putting yourself in rooms. Like, and I think, Jose, you do the same thing. It's like, if you're the smartest person in the room or the most resourceful person, like, we need to get around these types of people. And this is why I love the diversity, again, because, you know, it's just a unique group of people that are going to shed different light for you, the listener. Like, what do you need? Do you need to improve your relationship with money? Do you need to improve your morning and evening habits? And or do you walk around in a state of like, I'm not peaceful, I don't have a peace of mind? Are you dealing with this stuff? We want to change that. We want to change it next weekend. If not now, next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, when we bring this event to you. And I'm just excited, humbled by all of you, by your passion, your ability to show up. I'm blessed. I'm really blessed. And I know it's going to be exciting weekend for everybody that shows up there. I can tell you, I already know, like, it's done. We're gonna have a transformational weekend.
I can kind of sum it up, what you've all been saying, in two sentences that I've always been taught. And that's: the books you read, the people you hang around with, and the actions you take will change your life. And the other one is, if you're in a room and you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to meet Tony Kupas. I don't know if you know who Tony Kupas is. He was the founder of ACN. I think they're still going strong. They're just, MLM. And he said a couple things that I think are going to shed light on this for all of us is, there's two things he said. One, you got to have guts. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to get somewhere, if you want to take the mountain, you got to have guts. You have to be willing. There's got to be something inside that says step. And the other thing he says, you got to have an I don't care attitude.
Yeah.
People are going to try to pull you down. And I'm actually working on a metaphor where, if you get a rocket into space, the most dense part is our atmosphere. But as you go up, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. And I think we can all relate that whatever we're trying to do, it's not, oh gosh, here comes the adversity. It's like, no, it's there. And it could come from friends, family, the people that we don't expect give us the most grief, right? When we're trying to do something. But this is, to me, it's all a reason. The reason for that is for us to clarify, strengthen our messages. So it's actually, they're doing us a service, not a disservice. And I think it's just kind of the way we look at it. So we got time. So Mandy, do you have any other surprises for these amazing people? Marlon, did you want to say something?
I was going to say, you probably heard the story about the crabs in a bucket.
Yes. You want to share that? I love that story.
Right. Tell us, the listeners need to know.
Yeah. So you take a bucket and you put a bunch of crabs in there, and then the goal is the crabs are trying to get out. So as one of the crabs is reaching to the top and getting hold of it, the other crabs are also grabbing a hold of them and pulling them down, trying to get up. So everyone's always pulling each other down.
Right. Exactly. So that's a perfect example, right? The moment you try to make a change, you try to change those habits, they're coming to show up. They're going to try to spoil your parade, right? They're going to try to mess it up.
You can't do that.
So we say this: expect it, expect it. Expect something's going to go wrong. The moment you step, something's coming. Expect it, accept it, and move past it. Many of us go, this shouldn't be happening. Or why is this happening to me? It's like, no. come on in. I got this, right?
Well, our greatest growth happens during our biggest challenges. That's a proven fact. It is for me anyway. Every challenge I've had to overcome has brought great growth and beautiful things on the other side. So that's key too.
May I say something about what you just said? Really quick, Jordan Belfort in Sales, right? The Wolf of Wall Street. He has a great book, Straight Line Selling. The guy talks about how you already know an objection is coming. Like, you know in advance. So you have to be equipped to overcome these objections. And when it comes, don't be shocked. Don't be kind of derailed or overwhelmed. Know that, okay, there it is. I knew it was coming and I'm prepared. And the 6 P's, proper prior planning prevents poor performance. So as you're preparing for these things that are going to happen in life, in any type of whatever you're doing, that's how you get past it quickly, efficiently, and effectively without being rattled at all, because you knew it was coming.
Yeah, and it's not, and I, you know, I say feel the discomfort of it, because you might feel, you know, it's coming, and if it's one you never got before, it's about, like, this is where I pull from Julie's work. Keep your peace. There's no need to get anxious, right? Boom, I got this, and you'll figure it out. If you hang with it, you'll figure it out. So, Mandy, do you have any interesting things here for our guests that?
Well, just to add to that, and the thought's gone, is it going to come back? Okay, yes. So we always, in life, when we're presented with challenges or obstacles, whatever life is presenting to us, I spoke about this on my live last night. We always have 2 choices. 2 choices. We can either react and add fire to the scene and make it all explosive and get nowhere, or we can step back, take a deep breath, pause, and think to respond from a place, as Julia would say, of love and understanding and compassion. And when we can do that, then we will gain the success in every avenue we walk in. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into some fun things. We'll do a round robin here, each of you. We'll start with Jose. Do you prefer spiders, snakes, or bugs?
Spiders, snakes, or bugs?
Yes. And why?
For sure, bugs.
You
Because
prefer bugs? Oh my gosh, I love snakes, but that's okay.
I am borderline arachnophobic. I hate spiders, for sure. My wife kills them all. I get away from them. Snake, I don't like it. Yeah, believe it or not, you know, I'll probably be on top of it away, you know. Yeah, I know. That's this little hidden secret. Don't say anything. Oh, we're live.
Oh, we're live.
Don't worry, 11,000 people are going to hear this.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, it's bugs just because they're like, I don't like them either. But spiders, for some reason, I just can't get around it. I don't know.
So when you go to the event and you take your seat, check before you sit down, because Austin might just have a plastic bug sitting.
Oh, dear.
No, never do that. Never do that, Mandy. You might do that.
Hey, come on. It would be a snake, if anything. I love snakes, but anyway, Julia, spiders, bugs, or snakes?
I'm right with Jose. I do not like spiders. I've worked with my not liking spiders fear, so they're not as bad. But I would have to say, you know, depends on the snake. You know, they're bigger than bugs. If you thinking of bugs, I think of that Indiana Jones. You know, like the second one when the things were crawling up her head. I was like, forget it. So I would have to say snakes, but small little cute ones, or you know.
So you'd be okay with small little cute ones.
Yeah.
So like when I had 3 pythons, they started at 8 inches and became 6 feet plus. That type of snake, the little.
Well, you know, I've never really seen a big snake like that outside of the zoo, so that's okay.
That's
behind
okay.
glass is one thing.
Right. Good for you. That's awesome. I love it. Marlon.
Well, I would be kind of on the same boat. I'm not a fan of snakes. Spiders. I mean, I grew up on a farm. I mean, there were spiders everywhere in the barns. You literally just kind of wiped away the webs as you walk through. So, you know, that they never bother me. I mean, when my family gets all freaked out about seeing a spider, I'm like, you're 180 pounds. It's not even an ounce, just put your finger on it and squash it, And so, but then bugs, when I think of bugs, I think of ladybugs, and they're so cute and everything else. So I
they are not cute at all. Do you know that they bleed at the knees and it's acid? we had a summer infestation in the UK back in the 70s, and all the sweaty bodies that were on the beach, the ladybirds had got no moisture inland, so they headed to the beaches and they attacked all the people on the beaches, and they all broke out in these mini burns and all were being rushed to hospital. And they discovered it was the ladybirds infestation, because when they are angry or frustrated that they're not getting moisture.
About ladybugs, right, Marlon?
Right, ladybugs.
We call them ladybirds.
You call them birds, okay.
So when they're frustrated that they can't get their moisture that they need to survive, they get so frustrated they bleed at the knees. Well, it's a leg, right? So they bleed at the joint, and the blood is acidic. So it causes burns on human skin. So no, I don't think ladybugs are cute.
Okay. So that's been interesting. I think I would say it depends on the size and what it is. Because I've dealt with all of it. I've gone out in the woods, but if a spider's big, like it's going to get my attention, right? Same thing with a snake, but because the small spider, I can deal with spiders, but if it was a big one, like and I've seen some big ones, that will get my attention. So I want to ask
the new spiders that are coming up the East Coast. Have you heard about them?
We got murder hornets.
Spiders.
Now what do we got, Julie?
They're like as big as your hand.
Yes.
They're as big as literally as big as your hand, like 3 to 4 inches. And they're in Georgia right now, and they're slowly moving up the coast. So they say,
well.
So if you're down south, you definitely want to come to Flashpoint Live. You want to get away from those spiders. So register, get your ticket now.
And the kicker is they can float on their webs they use as like parachutes, and they float like 100 miles just in the air.
That is amazing.
Yes.
That nature just never ceases to. And by the way, Mandy, I did a video this morning on the fog, and I referenced your poem. So you want to check that out.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to check the replay.
Let's transition, because we got 15 minutes. I just want to go back to each one of the speakers. And what do you want the audience to walk away with from your talk on next, not tomorrow, a week from tomorrow? What do you want the audience to walk away with? Julie.
So I am going to talk about the interconnection that we all have. And there's going to be some fun examples and fun experiments with that. But I want people to walk away with the fact that they're so much more powerful than what they give themselves credit for good or bad. What you talk about, what's in your mindset, all of that comes through you. And so to clarify that as much as possible and make it intentional, the words, your self-talk, all of that is so powerful. And that's what I want people to walk away with.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Thank you, Julie.
There's a great quote, funnily enough, synchronicity. I'm totally believe in synchronicity. So it's Alice Walker. She said the most common way people give up their power is by thinking that they don't have any to begin with. And so you working around that on the self-talk and self-empowerment, that is what's going to bring life to people and give them clarity. Great stuff. Marlon.
Yeah. And actually, Julie, on this morning's video, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I talked all about this. Talked all about the miracle that we are. I think Jose was on for a little bit. It speaks to exactly what you're saying. Go ahead, Mandy. Back to you. You were going to go.
I lost my train of thought. I was going to Marlon. What was the question that you asked, Julia? What are you bringing to the event? Something powerful. Well, it'll all be powerful, but something that you really want the attendees and the virtual listeners to take away with them that they can use right away. What is that one thing, Marlon?
Well, I think for all three of us that are going to be speaking, the one thing that everyone's going to have to really take away is the fact that we know way more than what we can even share in that little time that we can share.
Sure.
So the takeaway really should be you need to connect with all three of us to get more information and continue the journey of learning.
Oh, sweet. I've got goose.
Great message.
Continue journey of
Yeah,
learning.
we have we're going to have plenty of opportunities to connect after the event. I'm a big believer. This is one of my big lessons being in this space. I don't consider this an isolated thing. This is a beginning. This is a start of a long-term relationship. And you're going to have lots of opportunity to do that. Thanks, Marlon. It was a great point.
Appreciate that. Jose, same thing for you. And again, you're going to bring so much to the event. What would you like the listeners, the attendees, to take away with them?
Yeah, normally I like to inspire people with my story in terms of the transformation that's happened because of the morning and evening routine. That's really what gave me a turnaround in my life in terms of just about every angle that you could look at it. But for this particular event, given the time that I have, I want to make sure that everyone walks away with some very tangible, specific, real things they can apply immediately to level up their morning and evening routine. And I call it your day, right? So I want you to be able to walk away with tools that you can apply immediately and say, you know what, if I just do these 5 simple things that Jose just mentioned, I can level up immediately, and 2022 will be better than I even anticipated.
Perfect. Outstanding. I mean, this is going to be powerful. And I'm going to be holding space. We're going to be talking about the environment of the breakthrough, creating an environment. We're going to be doing that next weekend. We're definitely going to be creating an environment where you can create that breakthrough in your life, getting around these people. And I'll tell you, I think the biggest thing, aside from what I'm going to bring, is just being in that space. And it points to the interconnectedness that Julie's talking about. So I'm excited. The links are in the chat. You could yourbreakthrough2022.com. If you're streaming this on Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, wherever, yourbreakthrough2022.com. It's March 25th, 26th, 27th. And we're going to be bringing you the Rocky experience. I have a video I'm going to be sharing here in a moment. I'm going to be sharing that video. Actually, I'm going to do it right now. Mandy, you may have to do a short recap. So let me, who has to leave? Let me just do a quick check. Does anybody have to make an egress? Marlon's got to go. All right, Marlon, we'll catch you soon. If you can stay, just stay in the green room. I'm going to share a video. And then if you're here, I'll put you back on. If not, we'll catch up. We'll catch up soon. So, all right, here we go.
Woo! Greetings, everyone. This is Austin. I am at the top of the Rocky Steps, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and I am excited to meet you here. I wanted to do this video to get you ready for this incredible weekend, March 25th, 26th, 27th. Our goal is to be on these steps March 25th in the afternoon. And for many of you, this is a very exciting thing. You're going to be here for the very first time, going up these steps, experiencing this incredible weekend. I am so excited. I've been passionately working to put this event together for you. And I wanted to give you the opportunity. If you're in, welcome. You're going to be here with me. If you're not yet, I want to give you a little bit of the lay of the land. So our plan is to be here Friday afternoon around 2 o'clock. We have a videographer coming in. We're creating a documentary out of this. And we have a couple special surprises that we're working on for you. And then Saturday, we're going to be back in Cherry Hill with guest speakers. I have Marlon Mueller, farm boy to multimillionaire, going to be talking about wealth principles, the wealth wise. We're going to have Julie Gandy, peace builder, talking about how cultivating inner peace literally affects all areas of our lives, makes us more centered, more productive in the long haul. And we're going to have Jose Escobar talking about the power of the morning and evening ritual and how it dramatically 10x'd his life. This is going to be a very exciting weekend. And then Sunday, I have a very very special surprise as well too. One, we are going to be streaming part of the event from 1 to 3 p.m. out to Apple TV, Amazon, and Roku, and everybody in person is going to have the opportunity to come up and do a sound off. 2 to 3 minutes, you're going to come up, tell the world who you are, what you're doing at the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be music, there's going to be energy, and here is the very special announcement. Someone who's become a very dear friend of mine, Mr. John Kremens. He's 96 years young. He is going to be joining us on Sunday, talking about his incredible, he works out every single morning. He doesn't have any knee pain or back pain. We're going to have the opportunity to meet with him. He's a World War II veteran. He's an incredible human. I'm so excited to have him join us. I know he's going to love it. I know you're going to love him. This event is going to be like nothing you've ever attended in the past. I can promise you, because I know what we're putting into this, and I know what it's going to do for you. So can you imagine being a part of an event with positive people that are going to uplift you? They're going to challenge you. They're going to love on you. We got guest speakers going to be teaching about wealth, inner peace, power of the morning and evening ritual. And you're going to learn from John, 96. And you're going to be a part of our summit. And it's going to be a documentary. I mean, this is just, take advantage of this, right? We're talking about the one thing, making a new decision. It literally is one decision. And I've been in this space for quite some time. I know this is right up there with one of the best options you can do. Why? Here's one reason why. This is not some cattle call where there's thousands of people and you're just a number. This is literally an intimate group of people. You're talking about 20 or 30 people that are going to get to know each other. We're going to build relationship over the long term. We're going to have a community. We're going to hold you accountable if you want it. If you're willing to step, we're going to hold you accountable. I urge you, encourage you, implore you, provoke you, evoke you. Join us for Flashpoint Live 3.0, featuring the first ever Rocky experience, and we're going to climb these steps together. This is Austin. It's March 16th. We got 9 days left. Do not hesitate. Either book a call with me or get your ticket now. I want to see you in Philadelphia with me on March 25th. As I close, I want to remind you to get free from whatever's holding you back. Stay present. Let life touch you. And move forward from a place of peaceful power, poised, planned, and passionately on purpose. You can do it. Bye for now.
There we go. That was obviously done a couple of days ago. We have 5-6 minutes left. Final thoughts. Let's go around. Jose.
That was an awesome video, first of all. And I'm very much looking forward to speaking to this gentleman and hearing what he has to say. 96 years old and the health condition he's in sounds amazing. That's what I want. You know, I want to live until 100. That's the goal. We'll see. I smoke cigars. We'll see. So,
George Burns.
So my final thoughts are very simple. Time is change. Transformation is evolution. And we have to evolve as humans to our best selves. We have to get better. The Kaizen philosophy, 1%, the Japanese philosophy, we have to get better and proactively seek it. We have to want it bad. And I'm talking about a burning desire, not just a desire, but a burning desire. I'm not talking about focus. I'm talking about laser focus. So these are the things required for excellence. So we got to take massive action. If anybody out there is watching and you're thinking, you know what, I just don't have the money to go to this event, that is exactly why you need to go. Because you're going to learn how to get more money to position yourself to show up to the next one and the next one and the next one. If you are lacking time in your day and productivity and you're feeling like, I just don't have time to go, that is exactly why you need to go. So whatever is holding you back, just know that that is precisely the thing that you need to work on. And that is what you're going to get equipped with when you show up. And how do you keep your dream alive in terms of your goals and your vision in 2020 and what you want to accomplish? You hang around dreamers, and those are the people that are going to be at this event on March 25th to the 27th. I'm going to be there. I look forward to seeing you there. Let's get it done.
Great. Julie.
Well, I have to say, you know, what Jose is saying is so important and so true. I literally, when the pandemic hit, I didn't really have a morning routine. It was usually like, hurry up and get everybody out of the house kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I sat down and I started to have a morning routine that spoke to me, that was what I needed, right? It changed my whole day, changed my whole outlook. So it's just, it's very powerful, very, a time in your day, and especially, at night too, like before you go to bed. How are you falling asleep? How easily is it that you could fall asleep? I remember, giving people, I've been a massage therapist for 20 years, and some people look really relaxed on the table, right? But their mind, they're chattering, so people go to sleep like that too, right? So how, they look like they're asleep, but they're not. And I've been, guilty of that, quote unquote, and I don't like to use that word, but that's happened to me too, where I lay awake at night and, my mind is going with thoughts and things. So this event next week is going to help the person coming in to find routines, find things that they can help them right now. Like Jose said, make 2022 the year that they never expected. But I hope that the stuff that I'm gonna share is going to be fun and interactive and put smiles on people's faces and smiles in their heart, that, hey, I can do this. I can, as much as crazy life is right now, and you look out in the world and things are crazy, I can be the center of the storm. I can be calm within everything going on around me, so, and from there, when you have a calm mind, then you can make higher level decisions, and you're not hijacked by your amygdala. You're not hijacked by that flight or fight or freeze, so it's just, there's so much.
So, Julie, we got 1 minute, so I'm gonna thank you. Julie's got a lot to share. Join us next week. Mandy, you have 1 minute to close us out.
Okay. Julia was talked about realigning to peace, coming from an angry state of anxiety and as a child, and changing your life. Jose, you talked about habits and the roots of people, and how we need to evaluate ourselves to stop from becoming stagnant and moving forward. Marlon spoke about, we all make mistakes. We don't know it all. It's about the mindset and finding high-level coaches. Julia, you went on to talk about the undoing of bad reflections. Your family were, I forget, politically minded and everything, and you had bad habits that you needed to undo, to reflect, and it was around money. So they weren't serving you, so you changed those. Marlon, stay humble, but have the wealth of wisdom. He has that. He talked about unique people shed light for listeners with passion and ability to show up. That was Austin. That's what all four of you do. Marlon, he spoke about the books we read, the people we hang around, the actions you take, they change your life. The smartest person in the room is you're in the wrong room, right? We need the guts to step forward. As Austin said, Marlon gave us an example on crabs. I'm going. Austin, you talked about expecting it, accepting it, and moving past it.
Yes.
Proper prior planning prevents poor performance. Jose, absolutely brilliant. All the three of you don't like bugs. One of you doesn't like steaks. What can the audience take away, Julia? It was the interconnection we have. She's going to bring these experiments that are powerful, that they can gain clarity through intention and working around the self-talk. Marlon, he said, we know way more than the time we have, so the audience needs to connect with all three of us. Jose, make sure that each person has tangible, specific applications that they can level up their lives. And Austin, you finished it out beautifully. Get free, stay present, let life touch you, and move forward.
Get your ticket now, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Everyone,
thank you, Mandy. Great job.